How we doing? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Welcome to episode 2 of Chatting Up a Storm. Thank you so much for being here. How's everything going? Today, I am happy to say that I'm joined by one of my great friends. He is, he's known for quite a few things, actually. One being he's a no damage record holder for Grime, Assassin's Creed 2, Control, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, 100% no damage, what a show off, and no skills, no damage. So I can see him smiling, laughing already. So I'm very happy to say that we're here with my great friend Hayete. Hayete, how you doing? Thanks so much for being here. How's everything?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah?
Everything's going great. Brother.
Good.
Thank you for the intro.
Of course. You know,
Thank
show
you.
off, you know, that kind of thing. How's your weekend been? How's everything going?
Weekend's been great, man.
Yeah,
It's been good. It's been really good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. No, I appreciate you coming on. It's a nice mug you got there. Join the rebellion. You little, you a Star Wars fan?
I mean, a little bit here and there. Here, not so much there, but here. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you're rocking the whole Disney thing.
Yeah. I mean, except for this, but yeah.
Well, yeah. And your collection of goodies behind you. That's one hell of a collection.
I'm really bad with this, so I'm gonna do both. And this one, this is the one that picked it up. Yeah, there's some Star Wars up here, man.
Yeah.
That one I saw that one in your intro. That one had a funny story.
Yeah, about that. How did that whole thing happen? Just out of curiosity.
So back when I was streaming, I had I think it was a sub goal, and we met that sub goal through just like the ridiculous generosity of everyone that was involved with my runs. And I said, okay, I've never done a cosplay before. I've never done anything crazy like that, but people wanted to see me dressed up. So I said, okay, I will do a cosplay, but we're going to put a Hayete twist on it where it's a challenge, right? So I did a any percent Jedi Grandmaster, no damage run in full clone trooper getup with Cal modded as a clone trooper. And it was brutal.
It looked
good. It was
good.
fun, but God, man, was it brutal. It was super hot in there, and the visor kept fogging up, and I could only see half my screen at any given head tilt. So
that's what
I
I
only
was
took 4 hits though. So
Four
it
hits
was
while in full Stormtrooper garb, huh?
yes,
That's
and
not
I was
bad.
expecting to take 40, so I figured I did really good.
I realized what I said. I said Stormtrooper when I meant to say Clone Trooper. How foolish
okay.
of me.
It's okay.
Maybe we should just stop right now, call it a day,
No,
delete the
no,
channel.
I mean, you're a Star Wars fan, man.
What
Hold
gave
on,
that away?
Let me try again. This side. This side. That side.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Fake Star Wars fan. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Thanks for dropping in.
Dundee, you can be the fake Star Wars fan. You are the Godfather.
Oh, that's
How can you be fake Star Wars fan? You're the
That's.
Godfather.
I don't know what I'm the Godfather of.
You're the Godfather.
I'm
man,
not even
of the
Italian.
run.
I'm not even Italian.
Yeah. With little
Details.
Little details.
Little details. So I have to ask, because what kind of got you into streaming in the first place? Because you've been focused on YouTube for a while. You've done a lot of guides, but what really got you into the Twitch side of things?
So that goes back quite a bit.
It does. Okay.
So as everyone currently watching will probably kind of have the POV of my streaming career, that started essentially with you. But my first like time on Twitch going live was 2014, 15, something like that. And that was at the height of me doing the guide writing for all the Star Wars The Old Republic stuff, like teaching people how to do the operations, the boss fights, and doing all of that. And I decided to go live because I got a lot of feedback that they wanted to see what the process was. because that was something that I had preached a lot on the forums. That I would talk about the process. And so I went live to show people the process, to see what our team was doing, how we captured all the stuff that we captured, how we crunched all the numbers we crunched, and blah blah blah. So that was my first Twitch like going live. But as everyone knows me on Twitch now, it's from you. So I God forgive me, I can't remember how I stumbled on your channel, whether it was recommended on the left of the Twitch page, whether somebody rated you. I don't remember. Maybe I was looking for Star Wars that day. I don't remember. But I found you doing a no damage run in Fallen Order, and I was watching you, and I was like, dude, I was like, this looks so fucking cool. And like I had played the game at that point, but I like went through the game, and then shelved it. I played it once and shelved it. I had never challenged run a game or even freaking thought about doing that.
And
then
that's
I
the
was
last time
watching
you
you
played
do
Fallen
it.
Order.
Yeah. And I saw you doing it, and I was like, you know what, man? I want to try that. That looks so cool. Especially with like my background and everything. It kind of felt like suited towards my strengths. And I was like, I'm gonna try that. And I did.
And you did it
And that's
well.
where we are now.
And you have 2 worlds first because of it. No skills, no damage, and
Yeah.
100% of that very game, no damage, which is ridiculously
Yeah.
impressive.
And what's interesting is my no skill run, which was not done live. I did that after I had stopped streaming, has almost caught up to my 100% no damage run on YouTube for views. And I'm not sure why, because there was like no
Yeah.
hype around it at all. I just kind of did it. And so yeah, I don't know.
Those algorithms are all over the place.
Yeah, it's YouTube is a mystery, man.
And it's
For
something
sure.
that's something that Hayete and I actually have in common, because where you got started, it was the same way that I got started, because I used to run a guild called Saga on the Shadowlands server in Star Wars: The Old Republic. And I also went live for the first time on YouTube just to capture our operations, whether it was Terror from Beyond or Dread Fortress, Dread Palace, which I don't know if you have a favorite operation. It was always TOS for me, or the Dread Palace.
No,
I love TOS. I loved it. It was so good.
the golden age of Star Wars: The Old Republic was 2.0, patch 2.0. Dread Fortress, Dread Palace.
That was it. Those were, well, I mean,
look, I will fight on anything else.
No, I love them. I love Terror from Beyond just because of the ending. I mean, the whole run was great, but Dread Fortress and Palace, all those Dread Masters were outstanding. I forgot. Is it started with an O? The name of that planet?
Oricron.
Oricron.
Something.
It's Aura something. I don't know. Ori in the Blind Forest. I don't know. It's something like that.
Start with an O. But yeah, the Dread Fortress, Dread Palace content. The reason I liked it so much was because there was so much you had to know.
Yep.
If you were playing at the highest tier, you had to know so much, and the room for error was almost negligible. You had to be essentially perfect to complete it. Yeah.
That's right.
I got my Wings of the Architect, man.
Yep.
And,
oh gosh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
I remember if you, back when I played, if you put those Wings of the Architect, if you executed that mount and brought it out, you gathered a crowd like you were the messiah of freaking Star Wars. Dude.
Used to do that. It was fun. I specifically remember there was a lot of, I mean, obviously you have a lot of ridiculously obsessive Star Wars fans in that game, which is great. We used to recruit. We would go to the starter worlds, and we would duel there to get people's attention and recruit them. People were like, wow, that's really cool. I want to join you all. And it was just really neat. But the game, kind of fell apart for the both of us. I mean, you've gotten back into it, but
I jump into it occasionally to like just, dick around with people I know on Twitch and have fun with them, but I'm too much of a competitive person.
No.
And
Apex. We'll talk about that.
But I couldn't justify paying anymore. And that game is one of the most restrictive models as far as free-to-play goes. So I couldn't justify spending money on it to do the same thing I'd been doing for years. And
Well, now we have a new game that doesn't have that pay per month model, which we will also talk about because we're both enjoying the hell out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of funny that we kind of got a similar start in that regard. So your runs. You've done Grime. You've done Assassin's Creed 2, which you're currently working on the Assassin's Creed series as a whole, besides one, and I'll let you explain as to why. But
Right.
we'll talk about that. Your current runs that you're working on. What are you working on right now?
So, so I always do like a primary and a secondary is how I've kind of, since I started on Twitch, it's kind of how I've floated into challenge running. So for example, when I was doing the 100% no damage on Twitch, I was also doing the control behind the scenes, developing it and stuff. And that's one of the reasons why I got it in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Once we got done with Fallen Order, and I was like, hey, we're going to do Control. And then we got it in 3 weeks as opposed to Fallen Order, which was 7 months, was because I was working on it behind the scenes. Which you as a challenge runner, anybody watching right now that's a challenge runner or even a speed runner will know how much time and effort goes in behind the scenes that you guys never see. It's so much time. But I always do a primary and a secondary, and the primary right now is the Assassin's Creed series. So right now I'm working on Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is the sequel to Assassin's Creed 2 inside of the Ezio trilogy, for those who know who that character is. And then the second one for that is kind of up in the air. I haven't committed yet, but I'm flirting with either Kenna Bridge of Spirits
Good game.
or Spider-Man PS4. And
Okay.
both of those would be no damage. So
Yeah, I've heard good things about Kenna. That's one of the ones on my list. But
Kenna caught me off guard, man.
distracted.
It caught me off guard a lot. I thought it was going to be a cutesy just action game, and it turned out to be a Souls-like, you know, you're sitting on a boss fight for an hour trying to figure it out.
It's been that difficult at times.
Yes, that game. So my approach to difficult games is I never play them to upgrade health. If they're very skill based, I don't like upgrading health because I feel like that forces me into a corner, and the way out of that corner is to get good
Right.
and not get hit. And so that's how I played it. My first playthrough that game was on the hardest difficulty with no health upgrades, and it was brutal. You get 2-shot, 3-shot by bosses. You
Okay.
make that many mistakes and you're dead, and then you have to redo the whole thing. So
That sounds like the right way to do it. If we play it, I'll probably do the same thing. I like your approach. Might as well start practicing right away.
Well, there is a all bosses no damage like showcase on my YouTube channel. So
Oh, well, yeah.
check that out.
There you go. That YouTube channel. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's good. So, since we have the challenge running thing in common, what's your approach to breaking a run down? Because everybody has it a little bit differently. You and I are similar in a lot of ways when it comes to stuff, but your process as a whole. You see a new game, you're interested in it. What's your first step? What do you do?
So when I was on Twitch, it was different. Being off Twitch now, it's a little bit easier because I learned on Twitch that doing first plays don't work for me. Too many people come in and they say something or they try to give advice or they spoil it or whatever, and then it just irks me. So what I like to do is I look at a game and I say, okay, do the mechanics hold to a degree of precision that would allow me enough control to essentially determine my fate? Do I get hit? Do I not? Okay. And are the mechanics in the game suitable for that? So for example, would you want to go do a Hades no damage run? Probably not. That would seem miserable because there's a lot of RNG and randomness and whatnot. But for something like Fallen Order or something that's a little bit more precision-based, enemies are the same enemies. When you go to that area, you know what to expect. The combat has precision elements, a dodge, a block, a counter, a parry, a something. So that's what I look for. Once I find the game and I say, okay, that works, I play through it the first time and say, okay, it feels doable. Then I replay it as a challenge run. And I try to do everything I can to not take damage. And generally where I start with that is boss fights. Boss fights are more scripted in most games than any level that you're going to go through from point A to point B to get to those boss fights. And then one of the tools that I employ for the boss fights is cheats, as funny as that sounds. So I use a tool called WeMod as a PC gamer. If you don't have that, I highly suggest you get it, especially if you want to challenge one. But what it is it's a like a UI that gives you a bunch of trainers, cheat programs for various titles. And so, for example, I go into it. It's very similar to what we use in the Fallen Order community to speed through the cutscenes. It's a trainer as well. It's just a standalone application instead of being inside one of these programs amongst all these other trainers. But assuming the game has one, I'll turn on infinite health and I will just live in a fight or live in a given space and just observe. I'll record it and just observe what the enemies do. What are their abilities? What are their attacks? Is there any pattern? Is there a rotation that they go through? If there is a pattern. For a boss fight, same thing. And then once I have an understanding of what their abilities are, then I start to try to counter them, try to dodge them, try to get away from them, whatever, without taking damage. And then once I feel that I've been successful enough in that, I turn the infinite health off and do it until I can do it for real. And the reason why I think that's very helpful is for anyone who's played Dark Souls, you can go into a boss fight 100 times before you beat it. And that's because you're on that learning treadmill and you're recycling over and over and over and over again, but you're not being able to have enough time to absorb it and really just focus on the abilities. You're panicking and all that kind of stuff. So, doing something like that allows you to kind of remove the panic, remove focusing on other things, and literally just focus on what the boss is doing. And so that's kind of like that's my process. So I kind of go through boss fights, and if I feel that everything around those boss fights is doable, then I start to kind of figure out strategies to get to those boss fights in segments.
Makes sense. It's a good process, and it's worked successfully for you. You've gotten a bunch of runs down in a short amount of time. So now that you have that process down, adding in a new run will work fine. The only problem is when you add in a game like Assassin's Creed 1, you can't quite do that. And why is that, Hayete? Why can't you do the first Assassin's Creed?
So there's been a slight develop up. I might be able to do it.
Really?
Before I go on this,
I
might.
Okay.
So one of the things that I did was I reached out on Reddit and I said, "Hey, Assassin's Creed community, this is what I'm trying to do." And I'm really OCD, and I know that if I'm able to do this, and this being no damage every single mainstream Assassin's Creed game, if I'm able to do this, it's really going to irk me that I wasn't able to really do it because the first one doesn't feel doable. And the problem with the first one is, and I don't know how many people are going to remember this because the game came out in like 2008 or something, but there's in Assassin's Creed games prior to Origin, there's a mechanic where essentially you hold guard, an enemy goes to hit you, you hit one button at the right time, and you instant kill them. Okay, in the first game that exists. However, when you're holding guard, enemies can like kind of knock your sword away and then do damage to you, and there's no telegraph for that. Telegraph meaning there's no way for you to interpret that is coming versus a normal attack. There's no way for you to differentiate. So you just take damage. And so I said, okay, well maybe the approach is not a defensive approach, which is the way that I like to approach challenge runs, but maybe it's an offensive approach. So I started trying to be offensive. Well, the problem is as you're attacking somebody, they'll parry you away and they'll hit you. And the same problem, there's no way to differentiate and tell when that's about to happen. So because of that, I said, all right. And especially at the very end of the game, like when you're 95% through the run, you get to this point where you get swarmed by about 30 guards and you have no choice but to fight them. You can't run from them. It's kind of like Death's Door. Like to progress, you got to kill everything in the area.
Yeah.
So the probability of being able to get through that without one of those events of damage breaking through your guard seems very, very unlikely that you're going to be able to do it. So based on that, I said, you know what? It's not doable. I mean, of course it is doable, but is it probable? And it's not probable, in my opinion, based at the time on that knowledge. But since then, I reached out on Reddit and I said what I said. And there were some people that came back and said, Hayete, there's this technique that people know about. We don't know if it'll be usable for you, but try it out. And essentially what it is it boils down to when you have a bunch of enemies in front of you, they sometimes like to flourish or they'll look around or they'll like move around. If they do any movement other than just beeline at your character, you can assassinate them. I don't know why. I think it's kind of like an exploit maybe, but you can assassinate them, which instantly kills them.
All right.
Now, when you go into an assassination, it's very similar as in Fallen Order, where when you execute a perfect parry and then you execute the finisher, all the enemy AI are coded to stop. Um, in this game, it's the same way. So when you do an assassination, they're coded to stop aggressing onto you. So it might be doable if I'm able to perfect that technique, and then it happens in a domino effect where somebody does it and I capitalize on it. And then I stand up, somebody else does it and I capitalize on it. And basically I keep the enemy AI locked down so that they can't aggress on me. Then it might be doable. But
Except
outside
that
of
last
that,
enemy, though. Because with that last enemy, couldn't they parry you away and
well,
then end all of that work?
the thing with the last enemy is you could dodge kill it. When you have one
Yeah,
enemy,
that's
it's not a
fair.
problem because when they go to swing at you, as long as you get the timing right, you'll always dodge out of it and then you can instant kill them. So the last enemy will just be a skill check, which is fine. But yeah, the last enemy is not the problem. It's anything of, basically two enemies or more that you're having to deal with. That's where the problem lies.
Right.
So
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So basically,
yeah.
the approach in that game is not how you and I would approach duos in Apex. Is that what you're trying to tell me here? Because I feel
Funky,
like
there's no
that won't
jump
work.
pad in that game. There's no jump pad
There's
in
no
that game.
jump pad. Yeah, you know what? I could have swore there was a
You,
jump pad.
you would have to run like the rest of the plebs. Bro.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Darn. Well, it was worth a try. No, actually,
Yeah.
Hayete and I even would swap. I mean, we've been playing Apex quite a bit offline. It's been a lot of fun. Now, see, and speaking of Apex, those kind of games, you were quite competitive in Overwatch, weren't you?
Yeah. So earlier I mentioned that I was playing SOTOR and I couldn't justify paying and that I was very competitive.
Right.
Well, in the time where Star Wars was starting to fall off for me and I just hadn't committed to completely leaving, I was playing Overwatch. And Overwatch has such a complexity to it that it really sucked me in. I like things that are very complex because I like breaking. I'm an engineer in real life, so
I
go
know the
figure.
alerts are
But I
off.
like
Just
breaking
wanted
things
to say I'm
apart and
enjoying these shows.
understanding how it all works
Colon
together.
closing parenthesis.
And that is a game with more variable dynamic than any other game that currently exists in the FPS genre. And it just took me, dude, and I just got super into it. And yeah, I mean, I got to the top 10% or 3% or somewhere in there of the NA player base, and I had competed in Open Division for 2 seasons, whatever years those were. Um, and yeah, dude, it was good, and I learned a lot. It was the first FPS game that I had ever tried to be serious about, like learning what DPI was, eDPI, sensitivities, uh, hell, hertz on your monitor, and how that affects things with frame rate and what you see, and it was a huge stepping stone into FPS games. And when I decided ultimately to step away from it because I couldn't be competitive anymore because my daughter was born, I use Apex as the FPS clickhead type scratching that itch.
That
So,
precious little human. During the pre-show, if you want to say, Hayate's daughter was running around the background handing Hayete the Green Lantern ring. She's just super cute. She was actually the one that, I mean, they did it together, of course, but Hayete and his daughter clicked the mouse button to end the 100% no damage run officially, and it was really adorable. It was really
yeah,
good.
so funny story behind that
Go
because
ahead.
everybody thinks that was planned and it was
Mm-mm.
not. So I had told my wife that night, and she was watching me do the Trilla fight, and she doesn't know the game like we do, right? So like I got the Trilla fight done. I was like, yeah. I was like, fuck yeah, blah blah. Like I was freaking out about it, right? And she had brought my daughter down to the basement, and she was waiting at the door, listening for me to say the run was done and to like be hyped about it. And when we got to the elevator, I clicked the button and I said, "Hey guys, that's it. That's the run unless something happens." Because truthfully, that's not the run unless you turn the toggle off for quick
Right.
time events.
Which you did. Wait, yeah. Right.
Which I did. So the last time I can take damage unless something bugs is those two stormtroopers right before the elevator. So I killed them both. I hit the elevator button. I was like, "That's it, guys, we got it." And when that happened, my wife knocked on the door, and she brought my daughter in the room, and she was like, "Congratulations! We wanted to congratulate you and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not done yet." So my daughter, like I grabbed my daughter and she was sitting on my shoulders while I was like running to the Vader door. And then when I got there, I don't know, man. It wasn't planned. I just had this thought in my head that it would be a cool moment for my daughter to see years from now that, her and her daddy did something cool together. So I was like, "Hey, do you want to hit the button?" And she was like, "Yeah." So I took her off my shoulders and we both hit the E button together to open the Vader door, and that was the end of the run. So
I
it was
got a
a
little
great
little
moment.
tear in my eye there. Yes, there is a clip on that. We'll grab it and we'll
It's
it's out there.
actually if you
Go
if you
ahead.
go to my YouTube channel, it's my trailer
Oh, it's in the
intro for my
trailer?
YouTube
Okay,
channel.
there you go.
Yeah, like it is the trailer because I was like, what else can I put here that would be better than that? I was like,
That's it.
that's it,
That's as
man.
wholesome as it gets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's there.
That's a great moment.
It is,
That's
man. I hope I
that's a
hope
moment
she
to cherish.
appreciates it and
I'm
she's
sure she
not like
will.
15 and like, "Dad, that's stupid." So we'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see. There's still time. She's still young. She's still adorable. I think.
Right.
I think you're set. And it seems like she's turning into a Green Lantern fan as well. So
She does like Daddy's Green Lantern, which is right
there.
there.
Which honestly, I've known Hayate for a year and a half. It's been a year and a half. Been
It's
about
been
a
a
year.
while, dude.
It's been a year and a half. Yeah.
Since the beginning of 2020. Yeah.
Because we invalidated the run, which we can get to. But um, yeah, yeah. And I didn't know you were such a big Green Lantern fan. I had no idea. Brandon, and I've only realized this over the last like week or so as we've been talking about getting you on the show, and I've just been so much. I mean, granted, I understand the green, but the
Yeah.
Green Lantern part of that, I just didn't know.
Yeah. So the Green Lantern thing is so I'm prior military for people that don't know. I'm a combat veteran, and one of the jobs I did in the military was military police, and I was law enforcement, after that or whatever, and so I've lived that like role, for like basically my entire 20s. I'm 34 now, but basically my entire 20s, that's what I did, and the thing that I liked about Green Lantern was they were like the space cops of DC. And furthermore from that was that their power wasn't something that they were born with or that was an accident. It was something that they were either like that was bestowed on them through no choice of their own because they were worthy, whether they knew it, believed it or not, or they accepted that role and they got the ring, and then their power, their strength comes from their internal willpower. For the Green Lantern specifically. So like they kind of take this calling, like this higher calling, and they're some of the most powerful people in DC. They're just not super mainstream. So,
Yeah, you're such a
but yeah,
nerd.
that's
God, what a nerd.
yeah,
What a
fucking
nerd.
nerd.
What an absolute nerd. Speak.
Shirt, hat,
Yeah.
cup,
Well,
crap.
my room's filled with all this kind of stuff. Now, it's actually a perfect segue when we're talking about nerdy things because Hayate is going to show us how much of a nerd he really is.
Oh,
Because
good lord.
you know what we get to play now. Save or delete. This game.
I just honestly, Fundy, I just want to rectify a mistake Cheese Whiz made and save my boy Ezio. That's all I
I
want.
knew this
dude.
was coming.
That's
Go
all I
on.
want for my life, man. That's
That's it?
literally all I want for my life. Right?
All right. You got your code? Is it in?
It's in, man. I'm ready.
That's funny. All right,
Play me.
so for those that are not aware of what's happening, before we let Hayate choose what he's doing, so essentially what Hayate is about to do is play Save or Delete, which is video game character Tinder. He's going to see a bunch of random characters that we've put together, and he's going to choose whether or not he wants to save this character or delete this character. Get the keyboard. So Hayete can use A or D. He can use the arrow keys left to right. He can swipe with his mouse. Go on.
Now, Thundy,
yeah.
I am a happily married man for going on 11 years.
Yes, you are.
So Tinder was not a thing when I was still the man. Okay,
well, 34. You're old.
I need to know which one is good and which one is bad, left or right. I guess I don't know.
If you want to save, you're gonna swipe.
Okay. I got you now.
To the wait a second. You'll see it on the screen. It's fine.
Okay, I was gonna say. I imagine right is right, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, you and I are old now, so I've never ever used Tinder. That's just not my thing. But all right, we'll get this started. Best of luck.
I'm ready. I'm ready, man.
All right, here we go.
Good Lord.
Let's see how he does.
Okay. Oh, Commander Shepard. Okay, so right,
yeah.
Right is saved. Okay, so yeah, we save female Shepard 100%. Yennefer? Yeah, 'cause she'd kick my ass if I said no. Marcus. So I've never really played the Gears games, so I don't really know anything about him other than he's from Gears. Hit him left, man. I'm sorry, dude. Ganon? No, Ganon gone, dude. You are the cause of so much misery. Absolutely, Yuna. Yuna's so cute. Kirby? Yeah, Kirby. Granted, Kirby might eat you one day, dude. So, Peach, got to, man. Okay. I don't know that I used her so much in Hades, so I'm gonna say no.
Oh, there you go, Diva.
Absolutely, dude.
Diva.
Are you kidding me?
That one was just for you.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god, dude. Fox. Fox, yeah, dude. I got some great memories with Fox from the N64 days. Banjo, yeah, dude. Let's go.
Jill Valentine, Resident Evil.
And it's the remake. So I haven't finished this game, so I don't know anything about her. So I'm gonna swipe left on this because I got no info on her. Zelda, of course.
There's Padme.
We had a conversation.
Yes,
about
we
that.
did. Yes, we did.
My wife is in love with Animal Crossing. I don't know anything about this character except it's Animal Crossing.
Isabel?
I have to go.
Oh.
My wife will kill me.
There you go. Keep in mind, this is a
right.
It's a random chance. And goes Cal Kestis.
No, you date Cal because you want to get at BD1. That's what that's
there you go.
Chun-Li, yes. Navi, no, because I don't want you to be like, listen, all the time, every 5 seconds. Handsome Jack is a douche, absolutely. Garrus is the man, absolutely. Hanzo, yes, even though I hate his scatterer.
5 seconds.
Master Chief, all right, we're going, guys. Agent 47, yes, yes.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Oh my
You saved
Lord,
more than
dude.
you deleted, so.
Oh my Lord, dude.
Okay.
Some of those, like, I'm glad that at least the characters I knew nothing about, I at least knew what game they were from.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I just hadn't played them yet. But, dude, the Cal Kestis one, come on, bro.
That was really funny.
Oh, man.
That was really
hilarious.
good. I mean,
that was really.
See, but now I'm going to give you the choice to save 2 this time. A pair. Okay. Because if I make you choose one, I kind of have an idea of which one you choose.
So I'm going to tell you this right now.
Go on.
If you have me save 2, my boy Cal is not in it, dude. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at this from a purely romantic side.
Okay, that's fair.
I would go with Cal for BD1 because Buddy Droid 1 is the man.
That's fair. Okay.
As the robot, but
yeah.
But yeah, so I can't save Cal, but you save Cal because Cal's Cal, dude. I mean,
right.
Come on. But if I had to save 2,
I already know one of them.
I think I'm going to surprise you because the one you're thinking is actually not who I'm going to say.
Not Padme?
Only because my girl Diva was in there.
Okay, that's right. Diva. Okay, what's the other one?
And Jill Valentine. I'm sorry, dude. I got
Jill.
to.
Okay.
She's a badass, bro. Jill is a badass, dude.
Okay.
Plus, I think me and her could kick some ass together. I got a combat background. She's got, zombies, whatever. I think she could teach me a thing or two. So
I'm actually, you surprised me. You surprised me.
Yeah. Now, if you let me pick 3, then Padme, 100%.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to pick 3.
100%.
You
Padme.
just move the rest of them into the trash. It's done. Padme's gone. Gone. That's it.
She'll be okay.
She'll be.
Okay.
Will she though?
She'll be okay.
Yeah.
She'll
Well,
be okay.
I don't know. Her future didn't really look that great. But
can we argue that was her choice?
That's yeah. I'd say that's probably her choice.
Still confused on how she died. Now, in a comic, I don't remember what comic it is, but there is a comic where she comes back and she's real.
Really?
And it's canon. Don't know more than that. I saw it on
It's canon?
Yeah, I think I saw it on Emerging Awesome or one of the other YouTube channels that's like super big Star Wars stuff. But there was like it was a big deal like a year ago or something. But Padme, it wasn't like Anakin was seeing Padme. Well, Vader was seeing Padme, and she was really there. And then she wasn't. And I think maybe it was surrounding when he creates his saber crystal, when he chooses to pour like all his like hatred and malice and everything to infuse the crystal and get it red, because that's how it happens. And maybe it was like an alternate universe type thing where he was seeing what would have happened if he didn't choose. I can't remember, but Padme was there and it was real. It wasn't like a dream. It was like a real thing. So, yeah,
that's interesting.
She would have been okay if she wasn't just giving up or whatever.
I didn't know that. I really don't follow the comics all that much. I will look it up. I didn't really follow the comics at all. The only comics I have are from Fallen Order, and the new edition that IDF came out with, where they actually had Luke and Leia officially going to Bogano.
Okay.
From Fallen Order.
So, there's a High Republic. I think I talked to you about this. There's a High Republic one where they talk about the Zepho.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to find that edition and pick it up, because all the Fallen Order ones I'm collecting.
Okay.
But luckily, it's a cheap thing to collect, because I don't want to spend too much on a comic book. This is not. I'm not trying to turn this into a living life of the Big Bang Theory. Although we're getting there little by little each day. Looking around this room.
Hey, life's too short. Do what makes you happy.
That's true.
That's my advice for everyone always.
That's a good point. Now, one of the things I want to talk about. This is oops. Wait, I hit the.
I get another chance, dude. Let's go.
Nope. I hit the button again. I mean, it's good music, but yay. So one of the more recent developments, which honestly I didn't even expect us to even be talking about, it's New World, this brand new game that comes out. I mean, we've known about it for a while, but I didn't realize that you were gonna get into it as much as you did, because you've been playing it like crazy. Maybe not as much as I've been playing it. I have like 75 hours this week, but.
Yeah, you've been playing it like crazy.
A little bit. I had to have a cutoff time at 4 p.m. today to set up for this. Otherwise, I would have said, oh, wait, can't do the show. I'm sick. New World. But how are you enjoying the game?
I like it, man. I mean, I've told you some of my grievances with it, but again, they're from a purely competitive standpoint. The PvP thing and, walking into a PvP mission and having someone that's 25 levels above you to tap you doesn't feel good.
Yeah, sure.
And makes it impossible for the most part for you to complete that quest unless there's just nobody in the area, which on a launch like this, week 1, is not going to happen. So I don't care for that, and some of the quality of life things I had told you about,
right?
Some of the like standard MMO quality of life functions that they left out.
Choose one. Which one did they forget?
So right now for me, it's simply just like, hey, this is where just show me a border of where the stuff is that I'm looking for on a quest. Because when you tell me to go to the hidden grove and I go there, but then I slightly wander too far because I'm like, oh, this area looks cool. There's some houses, there's some enemies, and I go over there and I'm kicking ass, and then 20 minutes later, I'm like, wow, I made no progress on this because I accidentally left the state, so to speak. And yeah, that sucks.
I don't know if you know, but there's like a number, a quest number.
There is a number. But they just kind of throw it there. Like, hey, go find sheep in this place. And then you wander too far away from that place, and then there's no sheep. And then you're wandering for like an hour. going, okay, I think I'm in the right place. I guess everyone's just killing it and they're not respawning fast enough. I don't know. That's not a good feeling.
No.
Anyways, the combat though is super fun. There's a little bit of a precision issue I noticed specifically with the rapier, but the combat's super fun. I love that you can block, you can dodge. I love that those things change depending on your loadout, your gear. I love that your weapons are things that you build over time, and they're not something that, oh, hey, I'm playing with a sword and a shield, and now if I want to play something else, I gotta go create a new character.
Right. I love
I
that.
love that you don't have to do that. And then the crafting, like survival aspect of it is really intriguing because it's way more of a focus than I thought it would have been. It's way, way, way more of a focus. And also, I was wrong the other day when we were talking offline.
About?
You do gain XP.
Yes, you do. It's
You
just
do gain
you
it.
do get XP. Yeah.
They only show it to you in like really tiny numbers at the very bottom of your screen. So I think that's why I missed it. But yeah, you do gain
We're
XP
getting
for it. But
older,
it's,
so we don't notice things as quickly anymore. Granted,
I
you'll always
mean,
be older than me, but not by that much.
yeah, only by 6 months.
6 months?
Or
Yeah.
wait, 8 months. 8 months.
Is it eight
Sorry,
months?
8 months. Yeah, you're October and February,
That's right.
right? I'm
Yes.
doing the math right. 10 minus 2 is 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Math
Okay.
is good.
If I failed that, that would suck for my job.
Yep. Yes, it would, and it would also be
So,
live on the internet forever.
oh yeah, luckily no one I work with or that works for me knows that I do this, so that's great.
That's probably for your benefit. That's good. That's
Yes.
a good thing.
Yes.
So, okay, so the quality of life stuff, yeah, that's a problem to an extent. I mean, honestly, I think this has been the most successful launch of an MMO that at least I can remember. I mean, I didn't play Final Fantasy at all. Star Wars, I wasn't around for when they launched it, but
Oh, I was.
and I'm sure that must have been a disaster.
It actually like I don't remember it being an issue.
Really?
Honestly, I don't. Yeah, I remember queue times being a thing, but queue times are every MMO ever. I mean, hell, if you go play Final Fantasy 14 right now, you will likely sit in a queue time, and the game's been out forever. Um, like the queue times in New World, don't get me wrong, they're ridiculous. They're like, you can sit there for a full-time job waiting for the queue to let you in. But yeah, I've seen a lot. I saw some people. I was checking the forums last night because when we had talked, you had mentioned forums. And I was like, I never even thought to go look at those. So I went and looked at them, and there were people complaining about the queue times. And dude, this one guy was like, dude, they should take this off of Steam and blacklist it as like a broken game because the queue times make it broken. And I'm like,
Mm,
go get on a server where there's no one at. The reason it's broken for you is because you want to play on that server name, buddy. That's why it's broken. Just go to a different server.
that's right.
I'm on a server that is I can't say the name, but I googled it, and apparently it is the Filipino, specific to the Tagalog language, word for heaven or heaven like
Really?
something. Yeah, and there's not a wait on that one at all, dude. I just click it and I get right into it. And once they settle this thing and they give us a free server change, then I'll come over to yours, or
There
I'll
you
go to
go.
wherever
Well, we're gonna
you
coordinate.
and all your buddies decide is the best place to go.
I wanted to talk to a bunch of all the streamers that that I know that are on Oceania, and we'll talk, and we'll try to figure out maybe there's a low pop server that nobody's going to use, but after everybody moves, because once they do the transfers, then everybody's going to move around. It's going to be chaos. Then we see where the dust settles, and then we make our move. Because if we move when everybody else does, we're going to have the same problem again.
Yeah, and honestly, there's no rush because with
There
games
isn't.
like this, you want to kind of eye it for survivability. So if you remember how many like at launch, Star Wars: The Old Republic had a million servers. It felt like, and now it has like 4.
Yeah, it's
or
downgraded
something like
completely.
that. So
It kept
yeah, so
merging. Yeah.
yeah, as the community starts to go, they kind of retract from those huge numbers of servers, and then you could
They
be
do.
in a bad spot again. So yeah, waiting is not a bad thing.
It's not. It's not. And I've been loving it. Honestly, I didn't realize how badly I needed this game right now. Just distractions and IRL stuff, just to be able to escape. And again, I've been listening to sea shanties and playing New World. It's been
I heard
great.
that.
It's been great. I was listening to the Hook soundtrack. It doesn't completely
I was about
fit.
to say I saw your Robin Williams tweet.
It doesn't
dude, and I was
completely
like,
work, but Because, but it just, I love that movie, so it kind of worked.
I mean, you could gear up to look like a lost boy in this game. That's completely possible.
There's a Robin Hood event coming soon, I think. So
there is.
There you go.
There is.
So just to let everybody know in chat, what we're going to be doing tonight, we still have some time to talk, and we're going to take questions from all of you in a moment. If you want to ask Hayete a question, 300 channel points. We already got a couple in there. I'll make sure to add them to my list of things to ask Hayete before we wrap up. But immediately following this amazing conversation with Hayete, you should be go subscribing to on YouTube and go following on Twitch, because he will eventually be coming back to Twitch when things settle down. Eventually. It might be a few years, but
when my tiny person grows up a little.
There you go. He'll be back.
Yes.
But we are going to be doing, and this was Hayete's idea. It's a great idea. Something we've been wanting to do for a while. We're going to be doing a live commentary run of our no damage run. I could say our because we're the only two that's ever done it. Wait, wasn't there somebody else? No, well, somebody did it, but on a lower difficulty on Jedi Knight. That was
so
right.
Cosmic did
Born did it, right?
Knight.
So we're the only three that's done it, but you and I are the only two that's done it. Not to take it away, because the difficulty, it's, you know, difficulty is difficulty. But Wave thanks you for your service. There you go.
Thank you.
And as do I. And there's so many of us do too. We're gonna be doing a live commentary run of our no damage run. I don't know if we're gonna skip around or whatnot. We'll probably start from the very beginning. We'll go as long as we want to, because I mean, granted, at this time of night, even if you and I wanted to play New World, we're not getting in. Well, you're getting in. I'm not getting in.
I'm getting in
until much later tonight. So you know, we can go to Origin Tree. We'll figure it out. But something we've always wanted to do. We'll shoot the shit. We'll talk about Fallen Order. You know, if you want to keep asking us questions about the run, about whatever it is, it'll be like a post show for a few hours, and we'll hang out. So I just want to let you know that's coming. We'll have like a 15-minute intermission so I can get stuff set up, but I'm excited for it, and thank you for the idea. It's going to be fun.
So Thundy.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good time, if you haven't already posed the idea.
Go on.
To tell your chat about the other idea we had.
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to mention that.
Between me and you. And
you're talking about the race, right? Why don't you explain it to that? Go ahead. What were you thinking? Go ahead.
So I thought it would be cool. Since me and Thundy like have such a back and forth with Fallen Order, you guys never really see it because we do it on like Discord calls, but you know, we boot up Fallen Order and we say, hey, let's look at this, or hey, let's look at that, or let's try this, or whatever. So I thought it would be cool to run through an any percent Jedi Grandmaster run with the two of us, where you guys get to see both of us go through the run and see who gets through it with either less hits or faster or whatever. I think my original one was see who gets through it with less hits. But I think you said you wanted to do it where if one of us got hit, we had to reset and restart the split and see who gets done first. I personally don't care. I just think it would be a cool idea to let us just do a side-by-side thing and just shoot the shit and have fun with it. But
I think that's a good idea. The only reason why I suggested that is because you tend to be a faster runner than me. So it's based on speed. You'd win hands down. I can't rush through a run like that. I just can't. It's just not the way I work. So by doing that, it balances out a little bit more. Because if you rush and you get hit, then you have to back up. And then I'm kind of ahead if I'm just patient. So you're going to have to slow it down to kind of
tortoise in the hare thing. I got you.
You know what? I'd gladly be a tortoise because first of all, tortoises are badass. Two, they are faster than you think, and they actually raced a tortoise and a hare in real life, and the tortoise won. So I will be team tortoise every day of the week. Totally fine.
And three, all the tortoises keep getting shot by me. So. Or sorry, the hares. The hares keep getting shot by me.
Oh,
the hares keep getting shot by me.
You're talking about New World.
Yes. Rabbit.
We were playing New World together. Was it yesterday? No, it was Friday. It was yesterday.
Friday, yeah.
In the morning.
Friday.
We're both working. We're both playing New World. Well, you were off. I was working and playing New World. And yeah, he's just chopping down turtles. I mean, turtle. Look what you did. The bunnies.
Ta-ta, I got you on it now.
There you go. Anyway.
Yeah, I had a quest where I had to get rabbit's feet. So every time I saw a rabbit, I was like, rabbit! I would shoot it with my musket and go take its foot.
There you go. All right, so we got some questions for you. We got two questions.
At me.
So the first question is from Jamie, 05. Jamie says hi.
Jamie.
Jamie says hello.
Miss you, dude.
And Jamie said, what game that you did no damage, which one did you enjoy the most out of all the ones that all your challenge runs that you did?
Damn, dude. Probably Fallen Order, because that was the hardest one. The 100% no damage run was the hardest thing I have done. And something we didn't touch on, Thundy, that we probably should have, or, at some point when we, talk again. Challenge running takes a very specific mindset.
Yep.
You have to be okay knowing going into it that you're gonna fail 99% of the time. And that run was just shy of 13 hours. And multiple times I got to the last section, last 30 minutes, failed. Or I would get to the last 2 hours, a bug would happen and I would fail. And it was so draining, so draining. Not that I was erupting into an emotional volcano, but it's just hard to be perfect and then through no fault of your own, have it ripped away from you. That was the hardest run that I've done. Everything else has been so easy in comparison because of length and because of bugs. Everything I've done since then has not been so buggy. So, yeah, Fallen Order. Easily, Fallen Order.
Yeah, that's a good one. And that's something that I'm surprised we didn't even think about talking about, because you're right. Because I remember when I was developing the first run, Godfather comment, it's ridiculous.
We could talk about it while you're
we can, but it's those. I mean, honestly, I remember when, I don't know how you react to it, and then Mary, I'll make sure to ask Hayete your question. Is when I get hit in the game, it feels like a jump scare to me. I jump, just because you don't expect it, because you've done this so many times that you just don't expect it, and it's like my heart stops for a brief moment, and it's uncomfortable to me. But I don't know how you react when you get hit, how it feels to you.
I have two main reactions. Reaction one is I usually go, "Are you fucking serious?"
Which you've said multiple times, many times.
Yes. Well, I'm doing a wall run and it just drops me off. I'm like, did that really just happen? Really, dude? On Ilum of all places? Ilum 100% of all places? Or if it's a really bad one, then usually it's earbuds out and they go under the table.
I haven't seen that one
and
yet.
Then I'm just like, I need a second. I need a second. But no, I'm not a flip the table, break the keyboard, punch the monitor type person, because it's not worth it. I'm choosing to do this. If you're choosing to do it, you need to be in the right mental state to accept what's going to happen, whether it's pass or fail.
Yeah,
so
that's right. That's right. So this is actually a really great question. Mary wants to know, do you see a future gamer in your daughter yet? Or at all? You do, yeah?
Yes, she is very, very smart, with electronics, which is awesome. And I can give her my phone right now, and if she wants to watch Paw Patrol on Paramount Plus,
oh gosh,
she goes right to it, swipes, goes down, clicks it, plays it. She wants to rewind it. She knows what to push to rewind it. She's very good at that. And then I bought a little Paw Patrol game on Steam, and she sat in my lap and was playing it with the controller. So it wasn't perfect, but she was playing it and having fun with it. So I think so. I would say so. I mean, she's gonna game.
Sure.
She has to, because I'm me.
You and your wife both game. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So she'll game. I just don't know whether it'll be a big thing for her like it is for me.
Give her putt-putt. See, that's what I used to play when I was growing. You remember putt-putt? The car with you were mowing the lawn and everything? That was great.
Yep. I remember that.
Games are a little bit more complex now than they were when we were growing up. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I remember playing Asteroid. I was over a friend's house. It was the Atari was over there. And we were playing Asteroid. And I thought it was the coolest thing.
First game you ever played, Thundy?
Ooh, first game I ever played. It might have actually been Asteroid on the Atari. I think it might have been the first game.
That's funny.
Yeah, there's that. But I remember specifically the first game I really got into was Metroid on the NES, and I loved it. I'd go over to my friend's house. I was very young, and we didn't have a lot of sugary cereal growing up in our house because my mom didn't believe it. We had regular Cheerios and maybe Kix and Life cereal. That was it. Nothing heavy sugar. So we go over there, and they had Cookie Crisps, and I loved it. I ate my cereal dry, so it was like dessert. It was a miracle, and that's part of the reason why I liked it. But we always used to play Metroid, and I loved that game. So when I lost my first tooth, I woke up the next morning, and Metroid from the NES was underneath my pillow. I'll never forget it.
Damn, dude, that's awesome, bro.
The Tooth Fairy was very generous to me. I love
that's
my parents.
Amazing.
Yes,
dude.
that's talk about one of the best things you could get for losing your first tooth, and it's Metroid.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's really
good. My first game was Pitfall on the Atari.
Oh God, I won't even touch that now.
I remember playing Pitfall with my mother on the Atari.
With your mom, really?
3600, 26, whatever the fuck it was. But I remember sitting there. It's one of the earliest memories I have. I was probably like 5 or 6, but I remember sitting there with a joystick playing Pitfall and absolutely sucking at it. Just dying over and over and over again. My mom was telling me how to navigate through the level, and that's how I got through it. But yeah, Pitfall.
Wow.
little Indiana Jones wannabe dude in 8-bit, running across or whatever it was. But yeah, Pitfall.
It's
Pitfall
funny.
Was the first game.
Imagine you being a challenge runner with some of the older games. You wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. The difficulty? Lion King, no damage. Go for it.
Oh man, so here's the thing. Those games are well scripted.
Yeah,
but it would be such a pain to practice.
Yes, you can't pick it up.
You'd have to run all the way through from the front to the end.
But the new update that's coming out on the Switch, they're allowing rewinds. And they're allowing save states and stuff like that.
No, we're talking. You're playing on the NES, bro.
Well, yes, you'd have to, but from a practice standpoint, you could practice it on the Switch and play it on the regular NES. If you wanted to do it,
but the feel would be a little different.
Yes,
the controller feel and muscle memory would be a little different.
It sure would. It definitely would.
But yeah.
This has been great. When I have people on the show, we have great conversation. Granted, this is the second episode. And again, please go check out Hayete, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all 3 places. It's just a normal conversation. We could go on for hours about this stuff. It's great. And we will, actually.
This is literally what me and Thundy do when we talk privately.
That's really it.
It's just BS, whatever comes up. Just random BS.
Basically it. But now we're just saying, hey, where did you get those trees? Where did you see that? Wait until we're on the same New World server. Forget about it. That's it.
Yep.
I'm excited about it. It's going to be real fun. And honestly, we tried one of those expeditions last night. I don't know if you caught any of that. But the first...
maybe not, because my internet went out last night.
Oh, that's right. So that was the other thing. I get a message when we're streaming last night. When we're doing in the middle of the expedition, the first dungeon, I get a message that Hayete's internet goes out. And that it might not be up until early afternoon the next day. We didn't know. Luckily, it came back up and we're here. Obviously, we're talking right now, in case you didn't know. If you don't notice that, then, well, there's another issue. But, I mean, that was a little terrifying. I mean, we would have just backed it up a week, but you're here. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I both want to hug with one hand my ISP and slap in the face with the other hand.
Who is your ISP?
Not saying. Not saying.
Yeah.
But apparently it was all of Colorado that went out. Apparently.
The entire state.
When I was on Twitter looking, it was all of Colorado. How? Somebody in there said that somebody from customer service told them that a wire got cut, and that's why. And I was like, yo, dude, as somebody who is an engineer and deals in projects, like I am in charge of multiple projects with like hundreds and hundreds of people. If you have a single point of failure, that's a problem. And you're telling me you had one wire for the whole state. That is a problem, dude. That's so ridiculous. But apparently, as far as all the best information I have right now,
is a wire
one wire got cut and the whole state went out. So
is that even, can you even do that
anymore? That's
the
world we live in. I guess so.
You cut one wire and an entire state goes out?
I guess so. Dude wanted to plant a tree in his backyard. split the wire, and there goes Colorado. I guess I don't know. I don't know.
That's it. They should look into that. That's a problem.
They should look into a lot of things. Hence the slap in the face.
How does a whole state go down? I don't understand that. I mean, from an engineering standpoint,
it's COVID times.
That's what it is. I mean, even from an engineering standpoint, that makes zero sense whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't want a single point of failure. You want to have a redundancy.
Somebody with a CCNA just got fired.
Somebody got fired. Somebody should get fired.
Somebody's in trouble.
Or like I said, if somebody didn't call 411 or 811 or whatever the damn number is and dug and cut a wire. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad the internet came back up. I really appreciate you being on the show. This has been great.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, it's been great. So
it's been nice.
What we're gonna do now, and if anybody has any other questions for Hayete, please post them. Your next run that you're working on right now, that's eventually going to be on YouTube, will be what?
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Okay. I've actually like, assuming the stars align and I don't take damage, I'm a little bit more than 60% of the way done with the run. There's 9 chapters and I've made it. I'm at the very start of chapter 6 is where I had to stop the recording. So I am on 6 of 9 getting this run done. We'll see how it turns out.
No, it'll be great. You'll get it. You'll be world's first entire Assassin's Creed series, no damage. You got it. You're dedicated, you're hardworking, you're obsessive about this kind of stuff. You hyper focus on these games, you'll be fine. And that's even with a daughter and a wife. You're good.
Thank you.
You're good. You got it. You got it. You're natural with this kind of stuff. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, like I said again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take an intermission, and we're gonna thank Hayete again for being on the show because fantastic guest, great friend. So again, please go check him out. But like you said, we can't extend the camera anymore. I don't have any more room on the scene, so let's utilize the space that we have there, my friend. He's like, for those that are on the podcast listening.
I tried.
Which, by the way,
I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. This will be on Spotify. This will be on Apple Podcasts. It'll be on Anchor FM. It'll be on YouTube, of course. The VOD will be highlighted so you can listen to Hayete and his apparently ego at the end of the show.
I had to throw it in there because we made the joke.
We made the joke. Yeah, that's why I'm joking about it now. You'll be able to see it or listen to it in multiple places by the end of the weekend, early next week. Monday at the latest. It'll probably be live. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We're going to throw words on stream on so you guys can show your vocabulary skills. I'll get the room set up and we're going to do a live Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Grandmaster difficulty run. We'll let Hayete pick our outfit. We'll let Hayete pick our saber color. We'll give him all the choices and we'll run through as much as we can. No? Oh, you're going to choose everything.
I mean, do you want your poncho?
No. Oh, wait, that's right. No, you're not. I'm keeping the poncho. You know what? We're just going to keep everything the way I want to do it.
Yeah, dude, that's probably the better idea.
That's probably the better way to do it. Never mind. Forget that idea.
Hayete is not a poncho voter.
You don't like poncho. You're anti-poncho. I like the poncho. Yeah, well, yeah, you put the skin on where Cal doesn't have the poncho. That's right.
Yes.
There you go. I really appreciate you stopping in.
Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Of course. Now, what I'm going to tell everybody, because we're actually able to do it this time, the next show will be on October 16th. And I can tell you who our next guest is going to be. We actually hung out with him last night. The Cold Brew will be our guest on October 16th. He's become a full-time New World streamer, really nice guy, and we'll be chatting with him on October 16th. And I will tell you who our next guest is after that in 2 weeks. But please go check out Hayete. His challenge running is outstanding. And besides that, there's something else we didn't even touch on. If you wanted to maybe learn how to do this run yourself, Hayete has broken down every segment of our run. The 100% run. Well, is it the 100% or is it the any percent?
It's the 100% run.
100%.
It's the 100% run.
So Hayete has broken down the 100% run, every segment, what he does for his strats. And a lot of my strats are in that run because, well, we did it together. But he does a lot of unique things that him and I spoke about last week that I'm implementing into my own run. But if you want to check out those guides, please do so. We'll get links for Hayete in chat or YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and definitely recommend checking it out. His commentary is outstanding. He's very thorough. He goes into in depth for what he does, and we'll do the same thing live here in about 15-20 minutes. So, Hayete, thanks again. Really appreciate it. You've been a great friend for a while. Appreciate you stopping on the show. And yeah, I don't know if you have anything else you want to tell the crew over here, but if you're good,
just salute to all you guys. That's how I used to end all my streams, man. Salute to y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much.
May the force be with you.
Yes.
May the force be with you. I appreciate it. All right, everyone. We're going to take a 15-20 minute break. I'll let Hayete stretch, relax. I'll send you a message when I'm ready to go, and we'll get this going. So, all right, everybody. I'll see you in a little bit.